On the road looking for a win against a Western Conference rival. The Houston Rockets are getting ready for this thing to get started. Suns fans are making noise here at the U.S. Airways Center in downtown Phoenix, Arizona. A time-honored tradition, the NBA on 2K Sports Sunday Night Hoops action. Delighted to have all of you with us here tonight. A look at the opening lineup for the Houston Rockets. Patterson plays down low with the sheet. Jeremy Lin is out there with Harden. And it's Parsons in at the small forward position. And for Phoenix, Scola and Gortat, they're inside. Dragic and Dudley are the backcourt tandem. And it's Beasley in at the small forward.
Houston ended up on the outside of the playoff group, and last year it came down to them just not being able to beat their conference counterparts. Had they done that, perhaps they would have been part of the playoffs.
Dragic the pass to Beasley. Fires from 14. Offensive rebound. Gortat. And it's good. On the way in. Gortat's got the first points up on the board tonight here for the Suns. Lin kicks to Harden. Shoots over Dudley. Harden can't hit. Clark, you start a good conversation there about Houston, what they did against the West. They were 23 and 25, and hard to make the playoffs from under 500 within your conference, Steve, in that category.
Well, it's such a difficult conference, so many strong teams. So if you're going to be under 500 in your own conference, you're probably not going to make the playoffs. 23 and 25, not a bad number, and that's why Houston was close, but it just wasn't quite enough to get them into the postseason.
Terrific play right there. Great strength to finish through the hit. That's how you do it, the bump and the bucket.
And Phoenix, I thought, was one of the surprise teams in the Western Conference a year ago. And one of the reasons was that they really played well within the conference. I think a lot of people expected them to struggle against that deep Western Conference, but they played well and I think had a much better record than that most people predicted.
Now, here is Gortat. Beasley kicks to Dragic. No good from outside. On offense, here are the Rockets. Let's go to Doris Burke, who spoke with head coach Alvin Gentry.
He told me he's a big fan of six-man winner James Harden, saying he's really one of those right-brain type of players. He just sees the game a little bit differently. It's tough to game plan for him because he can hurt you so many ways. But when he's leading that second unit, you can bet he'll be our primary focus. Kevin, back to you.
Thank you, Doris. And you look at how they played last year. They finished 23 and 25 against the West, which isn't a bad mark, Clark, by any means for a 500 team.
Yeah, but the Suns know that hovering around 500 overall and against the West really isn't going to cut it, Kevin. I mean, adding depth up front should help them compete against those tough Western Conference forwards.
Here's Lin. Michael Beasley picking up that last basket. Feeds it to Harden. Harden gets a screen from Patterson. Harden can't hit.
Pretty good defense there. I mean, that's a shot that he can make, but they really challenged him.
You know, for so long and so many years, the Rockets have been built around a dominant center, Kevin, and haven't been a run-and-gun team, an up-tempo team. But last year, under new coach Kevin McHale, they ramped up the pace quite a bit.
The first free throw is good. Back to the Rockets, you see their roster, and they are so athletic. So to make the most of it, they wanted to catch teams in transition a bit more. I thought it was a pretty good way of attacking teams there, Steve.
Yeah, I like what Kevin McHale did a year ago. They finished third in the league in field goals attempted. And so they really tried to attack and force teams to respond to that transition offense. And that's what you have to do, especially when you don't have great half-court superstar players who can take over a game.
Now, here is Gortat. Suns moving the ball around. Scola kicks to Dragic. There's the feed to Beasley. Gets the bucket.
And it's his poise at the offensive end that impresses me most. This guy is unflappable.
The Rockets have gone 2 of 6 from the field.
Well, Michael Beasley was a power forward at the college level, but he's been a little bit of an in-betweener in the pros. Most teams have tried to play him at the small forward because he's got that shooting ability, but he has a hard time guarding other 3 men. So it's a little bit of a mismatch at both ends of the floor with Beasley.
We're about 3 minutes into this first quarter. Dragic kicks to Scola. Dragic courts out with a screen on Lynn. Passes it to Dragic. Leads him in there. Here's Gortat. That's him coming off an assist from Dragic. And Clark, when you play, talk about recognizing that mismatch. When you had a smaller guy guarding, what was your mind doing? Where were your eyes? What were you doing?
Well, you were just feeling the fact that you had an opportunity to take advantage of a guy that couldn't deal with you. So take your time, no rush, get it where you want it, and then go to work. That's playing the game and feeling it out, not trying to rush anything. That's how I approach it.
And it's Brown missing.
And no defender was around him to influence that shot. It didn't hurt them there, but, they can't make that mistake twice.
Now, here is Harden. He's guarded by Dragic. Patterson setting the pick for Lynn. The dish out to Patterson. Harden outside. Kicks it to Parsons. Back to Harden. Just 5 on the clock. Goes back up.
I think he's capable of shooting the ball much better than he has so far. I don't think there's any doubt about that, guys.
Here's Brown. Here's Scola. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Well, Scola is just a skill guy. He's got a lot of savvy to his game as well. Doesn't jump real high, isn't physically that imposing, but he manages to find a way all the time. He can make the jump shot. He can get around you using his footwork, and he's got a lot of ways to score with little scoop shots around the basket.
Well, on defense, he knows how to play the finesse game as well, Steve. He'll bait guys into leaning on him too hard, and he'll take the charge and get the ball back for his team. You have to be very careful when you body up if you're his assignment.
Well, it's been an interesting transition for the Suns. Several years ago, they were one of the elite teams in the league. Now they're more in the middle of the pack. So this is not the same team that the Suns once were, but they're still very competitive on a nightly basis.
That one drops. He ties it up. Yeah, Steve, the Suns still a good team at home, but not quite the force they once were when they would just go out and run teams right out of the building, Clark.
Yeah, I remember those days. You don't ever want to scoff at 19-14 at home, but the Suns know that they'll need to be much better than that in Phoenix if they want to get back to the playoffs.
Dudley against Douglas. Dudley dishes to Telfair. Over Douglas. And again, it's the Suns missing. Over Telfair. The shot's good from Douglas. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game.